Welcome to Pagan Crafting, where art and magic intertwine. I'm Kara. I'm your guide to enchanting art, nature, and witchcraft. Whether you're a seasoned artist or new at the craft, these 13 tips will help infuse your art, your magic, your energy, and your everyday life. Join me today, and let's get started. Okay, we have tip number 1. We have set a clear intention. Every piece of art magic you can think of begins with setting a precise or just something very clear. Don't make it too wordy. Don't make it too large. Just make it love, protection, abundance. If you can, one word. Write it down, whisper it over your tools, whisper it over your items that you're using, align it with your energy. Tell it what to do. Make sure you're programming it. Even though crystals, for example, my amethyst and rose quartz, they have a job, they know what to do. Rose quartz is for love, and healing, and self-love, and heart chakra. Amethyst, you have your third eye. It's a great stone for healing as well. And it's great for people with addictions. It's a stone that roots you and grounds you and gets you through many things. It's a high vibrational stone. But it has many jobs, and it has spirits that live in here. Some are ancestors of ours that live in here. And even though they know what to do, sometimes they just like to play and have a good time. So whisper to them. Say, this is what you're going to be doing for my friend. I'm going to give you away, but you're going to a new home. And you're going to help them with such and such. You can think you don't even have to say it out loud. You can just create the energy within yourself and create that ball of energy and have it come out and breathe that energy and those instructions into your stone. Your breath is powerful, very, very powerful. But remember to write it down, whisper it, talk to it, tell it what to do. Set a very clear intention for tip number 1. Tip number 2 is choose your magical colors. Red, passion, lust, energy, action. Orange, attraction. Green, abundance, healing, money. Yellow, communication, intelligence. That's attraction for some people too. There's many different meanings out there that you can find for color coordinations and correspondences. But when I teach my art classes, yes, blue is for peace and blue is for calming. Blue is for relaxation, but what does it mean to you? You may not like the color blue for a certain reason. I personally don't like the color yellow that much, yet I love drawing and painting with it. It is amazing, but painted in my house? Nope, don't like it. I feel sad. I feel washed out. It drives my energy nuts. I don't care for it at all. In my kitchen, that I'm renting a house right now, and my kitchen's yellow. I just don't like it. I don't like how it makes me feel. So maybe yellow to me could mean a negative thing where it's like sunny and bright and sunflower and yay, and bumblebees and happiness and success. I mean, that means I'm like, kind of makes me sad. Kind of brings me down. I don't like being around it. Now I need to think of bumblebees and sunflowers and happiness for sure. But you know what colors mean to you is going to be a very huge significance in your artwork, and no one can tell you what they mean except for you. So when you select your colors, think of the energy that it invokes. How does it make you feel? And what energies will what's the word I'm looking for? What emotions is going to stir up when you work with certain colors? Think about the energy that they're going to bring to you and bring for you. That is super fun. Sometimes I pick my palette before I even know what I'm doing. I just I'm bringing in these colors because I would like to invoke such and such and such. And then everything else falls in alignment after that. Tip number 3, gather natural inspiration. That's right. If you can, I don't know if you're a city witch or maybe you're a disabled witch, but if you can, or grab some friends, and maybe some friends can bring you some goodies for you, but picking up leaves, flowers, branches, roots, things that the nature that has to offer us, that the forest has dropped on the floor for us. So you don't need to go breaking down some branches to make a wand. You can look for, before you walk into the forest, I am looking for a wonderful new wand to work with, whether it be a root or a branch or something that is, and you can even set to your intentions of what type of trees you are looking for. But a lot of the times I find if I keep it less detailed, less needy, then nature will always provide something that you need. Nature always will provide. And when you go home and look up the type of tree that maybe it was gifted from, it just seems to align with what you need at that point in time in your life, just like a good tarot reading. So gathering natural inspiration, and depending on what time of the year is what you can collect, and depending which hemisphere you're in and where you're at. Something may be a lot more rainy. You may have snow. You may be smoking hot. You may not want to go out right away, but gather leaves, petals, stones, incorporate them into your art, dry them in books, bring in anything, let the textures and patterns just inspire you. You had a bonfire, collect some of the ash the next morning and draw with the charcoal the next day. Oh, I've done that before. That's so much fun, especially after some really, really, really cool circles. You draw with the charcoal there. It's just charged. It is charged up. Speaking of which, number 4, using enchanted tools. What could you use? Now, infuse your tools with magical intent is my notes here. Charge your brushes, your pens, even your hands under the moonlight or with a simple blessing. You may have seen these in videos. I'm talking way to my microphone, but I actually did have a mic there for those of you that didn't notice. I'm not being a kid or weird. Maybe I was. But enchanting your paintbrushes, why not? Using some enchanted oil, using moon oil or moon water to bless it. Same as my pens. Notice the multitude of colors. No big deal. It's a super cool pen. But even enchanting your pen with splashes or mists of some moon water, different phases of the moon are going to mean different things too. Now, with that said too, there's different phases of the sun through the day, but different phases in a month. So you could use solar and moon water to bless your hands, enchant your hands. You could use a simple smudge. I did have some going here. Now you can use a smudge to go over this. This is a blend. This is a blend that I got from a local witch here in my city. This is, I've mentioned them before. It is Goddess Temple. And this is, they use goddesses and gods for their blends to inspire them. And this one's for gratitude, joy, and abundance with Dana. And it is a rockin' blend. So I have that because I thought it would kind of go with the theme of the video today. So different things that we can enchant are crystals, our paintbrushes, our pens, anything you could think of that you use. You use sculpting, modeling clay, the tools for that. Your tape dispenser, your scissors. Get creative with what you can enchant. Do you have favorite scissors? I have 3 scissors. I'm a crafter. I got more than 3 scissors. Let's be serious. I have 3 favorite scissors at the moment. I may get more favorite scissors if I find more. Yeah, that happens. But my 3 favorite scissors, now that I think about it, I should be enchanting them, especially my little fussy cut ones. So I would take my time and don't go so fast and make a mess. Little different in things you could use. What about smudging? How many of you smudge every day? My elder gets after me if I'm not smudging every day. And one thing she noticed that I always do, that I do my hands and then up my arms as well. And she says, "Oh, we do our arms as well." And it says, "And your hands? Why?" I said, But I used to bless my hands and give a little extra thank you and gratitude, and to help keep away the arthritis. That's what it was. It was to help keep away the arthritis. And we have tip number 5, working in a sacred space. Now, I challenge you to make a sacred art altar or art space. Those of you that are closet witches are like, whoa, I can't do any altars out in the open. Yes, you can, and I bet you already are. Look what kind of goodies I got here. Now, this is just a little table I have that it morphs every couple weeks. It changes up, but I have 7 books I have on the go right now. This one's, I forgot I had crystals on there. I was charging up my books. The healing crystals, this one's kind of a reference book right now. And my crystals that I was charging up my books, giving them some citrine energy. I'm not sure why, but that needed to happen. And I like having my smudge blends here. I love reading by the candle. I have some Palo Santo if I feel like rocking in some beautifulness. I have also some cards here. Now this is just my reading area, but I have an art station here that no one would know either way if it's just an art station or an art altar. Leave me down a little painter's palette if you would like to see my art station. I could do another video and I can show you my art altar / art station. Yeah, let's do that. If you got, I don't know, is that interesting? Let me know in the comments down below. Let me a little painter's palette and we'll rock that. All right, tip number 6, include symbolic imagery. Everything. You can have correspondences and symbolism. Add powerful symbols to your art, even if it's like a moon or spirals or protective sigils. These all amplify the magic of your creation. So if you can rock in sigils, some life symbols, look up your cultural background, the pagan backgrounds, folk magic, traditional symbols, you may find some amazing stuff that you can hide in layers in your artwork. And that leads us to tip number 7, layering your intentions. Sigils. You can have fun with those. So think of art as a spell and layer. So like every stroke, every mark, every sparkle, every stroke of glue, every dot of paint, collage a piece of paper, anything you weave intention into those layers. With each stroke of your paint, did you dip some of that in moon water? Or are you cleaning your brush in moon water? What phase of the moon did you use? Maybe new beginnings, we got some new moon, maybe we got some waxing or waning, we're going to have some growth, or we're going to have some abundance, or we're going to have a climatic full moon, we're going to have some chaotic fun energy. All these symbols can amplify the energy of your intention and amplify the canvas that you're working on, the chosen canvas, whatever that may be. And your chosen canvas could be a spell jar. It could be a book. It could be, you could be drawing on the paintbrush, or would be really, really, you know what would be really, really cool? I'm getting sidetracked here, but if we scratch off all the paint, sand it down, burn, would burn in some sigils or some runes on your paintbrush handle, you can repaint it. No one's the wiser. You want to sell some paintings? Burn some abundance sigils in your paintbrushes. Or even just right here on the flat of them right here, take a Jiffy felt marker and rock in some sigils right here. Yeah, that'll help sell some paintings. So layer your intention, have fun, collage it up, sparkle it up, glue it up, whatever you're going to rock. With each layer, with each mark, lay down that energy. And tip number 8, working with the elements. Ooh. Working with the elements, obviously earth, air, fire, water. But let's say if we're by a river, for example, you can work with the water, you can work with the wind, you can work with the clay, the sand, you can mix that in your paint. Ooh. Start a fire, burn the edges of the paper, use the charcoal to color and draw with. Oh. Working with the elements, there's endless opportunities to bring that into your art. And I think that's super important to bring in color correspondences, elementals, seasonals into your artwork. And it's really going to help you be at one with your inner artist, yourself, your craft, and learning the things that you would like to learn. Even if you're getting older and you're not taking on a lot more learning and you're here to teach, what can you teach? What can you do? My idea is go back to the basics. And going back to the basics is elements. Just starting off with elements again. What could you use with fire energy? What could you use with water energy? Solar, moon water, river water. I've collected storm water. It was Canada Day 3 years ago, and I collected storm water, and then I had mason jars because I was making some stuff out there, some cells. Don't ask me why. I forage and I make stuff while I'm camping, and I collected a jar of hail, capped it. It all melted, of course. It's not going to stay cold. But I painted with that hailstorm water, and the piece was it's alive, it's vibrant, it is so cool. I did it for I wound up using the water for a painting I did for Ivy's The 12 Days of Yule. I painted a really cool multi-arm piece of myself. It was really, really fun. And again, lots of layers. I even used it was gem dust, ash, crossroads dirt. I think I used some greenery. I try to use all natural substances to make my paints. It was very cool and very fun process. I definitely enjoyed working with the elements with that 100%. And tip number 9, embrace imperfection. Oh, I've done a whole video on this one before, haven't I? Your art magic isn't about perfection. It's about energy and emotions. There's no right or wrong. Letting go of judgment, because who's judging you? You are. You got to stop. Trust the process. It's magic in the making, my friend. You have to absolutely just, whatever happens, happens. You can't control art. I had to watch Ivy the Occultist video, Chaos or Eclectic. Which am I? And I was like, I gotta be a coyote, because I was just like, it just goes hand in hand when it comes to pushing the boundaries of art magic and art. And I found I'm more eclectic, so kind of bummed out. But that's okay. I can be a coyote if I still want to when it comes to art. But I have to learn more. But anyway, tip number 10. Sound and your intentions. Again, back to intentions. We have setting your intentions, layering your intentions, and sound and speak your intentions. So not only you can, let's say if we are working on a canvas on a painting. Now you don't have to be painting to use a canvas. You could be using, you could be gluing stones on it in a pattern. You could be actually using paint and moon water in it. But as you're, let's say, for example, we're painting. As we're painting on our canvas, whisper into the paint, whisper into the water. Hum, sing, play music, play drums, play some shamanic tunes, play some binary beats, listen to your cat purr, play a cat purring on your sound system. What you think and feel goes into your art magic. Same as your intentions when you're crafting your spells. You want to think your intention the entire time because that energy is building up in you and coming out to your arms, through your hands, and into your art piece. As artists, we give so much of our energy when we're creating, some of it not realized, and other times, if you're able to harness that energy, what you could create, what you could manifest is incredible. I've had incredible turnouts to my art magic, and some things I need to paint more instead of doing candle spells, or you know what, I'm not going to get into, but my art magic, it's got to have at least I want to say 90%, 100% turnaround. Like, it's pretty amazing. And I think it's because of all the energy and intention that I put into my work when I'm focusing on that. Now, another really cool one is tip number 11, and that's create seasonal art magic. Now, depending on the like there's supposed to be 4 seasons, but in Canada now there's about 3. We don't really get springtime anymore. My friend Tuva, the Norse witch, she tells me that there too they don't have springtime, that it just skips a season these past few years. And depending on your southern or northern hemisphere, where you're at one point in time, how your seasons are celebrated, whether it's rainy or growth, or you have autumn, or it's beautiful, or you got summer all the time, or just monsoon season. Celebrate your seasons, and what kind of things can you collect in nature to represent those seasons. If you want to embrace the 8 Sabbaths instead of the 4 seasons, there's more for you to work with there as well. In springtime, for example, if you choose to work with the seasons, you can paint symbols for growth. Autumn, use warm colors, falling leaves to celebrate the harvest, maybe snowflakes for or raindrops, depending where you live, for wintertime. So try to use you could also correspond the elements with the symbols. If the symbol, there you go. So the elemental symbols with the seasons. See that again. And again, a piece can just grow and grow and grow and grow. And then again, you can bring in your layers after you put your symbols on, or you can have one big symbol and then have all your layers inside of it. Again, endless possibilities. But there's so many different ways if you're a closet witch, or you don't want people to see and don't want them to ask what different symbols or sigils mean. Cover it up with art. No one needs to know. Set it and forget it. All right, we got tip number 12. Seal your work with magic. When your piece is complete, seal it with a magical act, like a candle. Sprinkle moon water on it, or place it under the sun to empower it further. Maybe you would like to, I usually start off, before I start off with my canvas, I do smudge my area, my tools, whatever I bring into the work, especially if I'm bringing in gem dust or dirt, different sands and whatnot to work with my paints. Depending on what I'm bringing in, those ones I know where I've collected them, so I don't always smudge them. So I like to complete everything when I'm all done, and seal my work with my smudge. And you could use a chakra spray. You could use moon water spray to seal your painting. Tip number 13, display or use your art mindfully. Take that art piece and hang it. Use it. Show it off. Put it in a place of honor. Have fun with the colors when you're designing sigils. Now, you may have seen my video. I'm going to show you something here. My video on what's in my travel bag. But I designed a sigil. Just got to take my phone out if I can. For travel. Son of a biscuit. Huh. But I have here my travel symbol for safe travels, protection, and my journeys. And I never took it out because I would like some safe travels as I'm driving to work, driving in my very hectic city. And I use a yellows and white for a reason, and I use a green for a reason as well. Those ones are personal. But that one I carry with me everywhere I go. And my phone's always with me when I'm driving, so that's something to protect me that way. Other places to have your artwork up. I have my artwork up in my front door. It's the first thing you see when you walk in. It's loud and proud. But it's also my protection wreath that I made. It's a triple goddess moon. And it has different protection crystals and things that I want to invoke in my home. And I have different colors and different crystals for different things. And no one needs to know that it's what I want to invite into my home. They just think it's a pretty wreath I have hanging when you first walk in. And that's fine. So there you have it. We have 13 tips for you to create art magic and infuse your creations with intention. Now that you have in your arsenal different ways to enchant and infuse and have some fun, just want you to know that remember that your creativity is your power. There's no such thing as perfectionism. There's no judgment because you're the only one that is judging yourself. Let that go. Let the art be flowy. Trust it, nurture it, let it guide your magical journey. Until next time, blessed be and happy crafting.